Hello and welcome to Blythe Business News. For this edition, I'm joined by Mark Child of Condor Gold. Condor Gold has an enormous gold asset in Nicaragua, currently market capitalization in London of around £49 million sterling. The company is listed in London on the AIM market, but also in Toronto on the TSX market. Mark, good to have you back with us. You've just announced your first quarter results with regard to the developments at the La India project. Quick update, please, to the viewers on what's happening at the project and what, very importantly, is the construction-ready status at La India.
Right, good to be back on the show. We've made major project progress, I should say, over the last 6 months in de-risking the project. And by that, we mean that we've acquired more land. We're now up to 99.6% of the surface rights for all the key areas of the infrastructure, from the open pit, the process plant facility, tailing storage, waste rock dumps, and so forth. We have also pretty much completed the definitive feasibility studies, which we'll come on to perhaps a bit separately. We're continue to work. We have about 61 employees on the ground, and 14 of those in the social side. So we're working with local communities to maintain our social license to operate. We have drinking water projects and lots of community engagement projects, which is very important to us. In terms of the debt for the project financing, we have 3 groups in the data room at the moment, looking at the different studies that we've completed with a view to providing debt finance for the project. And we've advanced all the engineering studies. In terms of the site clearance, we've now cleared over 14 hectares of land. When I say cleared, I mean really cleared. It's all the shrubs, trees, and so on have been removed. And as part of that, we have a reforestation program of 10 trees to be planted for every one that we cut down. We have a nursery of about 7,000 trees as well. So yes, it's getting very much construction ready.
You mentioned there the feasibility study, and I want to specifically ask you, please, about the open pit at La India. Give us an update, please, on that particular feasibility study.
Yes, well, just to remind the viewers that we have a total of 2.33 million ounces at La India project, and about 1.1 of that is open pittable, and the balance of 1.2 million ounces is underground. Within the 1.1 million open pit, the main open pit is La India open pit, which you're referring to there. And there are 3 additional satellite pits, but the main pit takes up 80% of the open pit material. And we have 3 pits that are fully permitted for extraction and construction, all the associated biocide infrastructure. So the feasibility study is focusing on the big pit with 80%. The resource on that is about 900,000 ounces of gold. And we spent over the last 18 months at least $10 million actually on all the technical studies. And just to give an idea of the cost of this, the tailing storage facility these days, the dams for the tailing storage facilities and so on, those are now drawings issued for construction pretty much. And that's $1 million study. And the government needs to see those, because everyone's concerned, quite rightly, that the tailings are designed appropriately with the dam failures that you've seen in Brazil. We've also completed geotechnical drilling of 2,800 meters, hydrological drilling of 5 different water holes for dewatering of the pit. We've done the site-wide water balance, the metallurgy's done. So all these are the studies, I would say, on the ground. We also last year put infill drilling on that pit of 3,500 meters. Has had some great results on that. So we're now at the stage of almost report writing back in from the consultants. This is led by SRK in Cardiff and their Denver office, and the tailing storage facility is done by a group in Denver. And the processing plant design, that's all laid out and 50% engineered now. So we know everything's going within the nearest meter. And we've got all the drawings and foundation drawings for everything from warehouses to gold rooms to plant to jaw crusher, explosive magazines. So we have all those drawings ready. It's about 50% engineered. So major progress.
Now, I understand you're also analysing more data for an updated mineral resource estimate for India. I mean, how's that shaping up, and what impact will the outputs from that have on the mine plan, which you previously outlined in the earlier preliminary feasibility study?
Yes. Well, yes, thank you for bringing that up. You see, the pre-feasibility study is now 7.5 years old. So we're conscious, and when you're doing reserves and resources, even resources have the potential to be economic as well as reserves. You've got various input costs that you come in and various gold price assumptions that you use within those project economics. So since we last did a major resource update, gold prices changed, they've increased, but also so have certain operating costs, and we're all conscious now of inflation and various other operating costs, and certainly those have increased over the last 7 years. So we've also put in last year, which about 3.5 meters of resource expansion drilling on the Cacao project, and we doubled the down dip extension of that to we got about 15 meters of 4 grams, and we doubled the strike extent from 400 to 800 meters. So there'll be an increased resource coming on that, so that'll be a positive. And the geologists think on an extra 500,000 to 1 million ounces in total on Cacao. But otherwise, the resource gets updated in terms of the geological model for new weathering models, new lithological models, different types of rock. It'll all be logged, and new structures. So it's much more comprehensive, and that'll be across the entire 7 deposits that we got, not just Landia open pit, but also will include updating underground resources where we can. But broadly speaking, the total number of ounces of about 2.33 million-ish, around that's not expected to change materially. We get a few losses with infill drilling and a few increases elsewhere. But there'll be about a 1%. What I've seen internally at the moment, there's about a 1% difference, but it does mean that it reflects current market conditions and prices and inputs that should be used, not numbers that are almost out of date.
Let's just take a step away from the mine for a moment, because back into the capital, you've recently met with the president of Nicaragua and the Ministry of Energy and Mines. A key part of the job for a chief executive of any mining organisation, we understand that, but tell us a little bit more about what you gain from the meetings, how important their support is for India, and on the flip side of that, what does your project mean for the country?
Yes, it's Nicaragua. The biggest export's gold for Nicaragua, and then it's coffee and beef, and they're looking to double the gold production in the next 5 years in the country. It's not very often as a mining CEO you actually get to meet a head of state on a one-on-one that was normally billed as a 30-minute meeting, and it was an hour and a half. So, and in this political apparatus that they have there, it's very important that you have a blessing from your key stakeholder, which is basically the government. Without a government, and people often forget this, you don't get permits to construct and operate the mine. So they're a key part that we've targeted and engaged, and showing them that we're doing this the right way. And of course, we talk about the benefits of the mine to the community, to the country, the foreign direct investment. And we'll be spending $70 million per annum US in operating costs in the country, with the moving of the rock and the power costs and everything else that goes on. So it's very important. We can then show photos of meetings with the president and the minister to the local mayors, to local communities. And bear in mind, this is the poorest country in South America, and they do look very. The president's very respected, and what he says is terribly important for people to be good actors with us as well. So that's a key meeting and a major de-risk. And we often get comments on Nicaragua, or what about the politics? People are unsure about that. But what I would say is I think that Nicaragua, from a mining perspective, can you operate there? Could you build a mine there? Have you got a convertible currency? Are the government encouraging you to build the mine? Are they sorting problems out for you? They're doing all that. It's probably one of the most mining-friendly jurisdictions in Latin America. So very important meetings. What's it mean for the country? Well, the total gold production is about 370,000 ounces of gold in Nicaragua, and this mine can increase that by 25 to 30%. So it's a big boost to their biggest export, and of course, with a foreign direct investment coming in, so all that helps the economy and so on.
Okay, thank you for that. Finally, before we let you go, what can we expect in the next quarter? Just give us some headlines to look out for in terms of news flow coming out of Condor Gold.
Well, we'll hope that there'll be some drill results. So some of that geotechnical drilling, which we only finished in December last year, we originally through the pit, the main pit, it was originally sent off to the labs for geotechnical reasons, so rock strength and mass and faults and so forth. And after that work was done, we've sampled it for the gold assays, and so we'll be putting out some additional drill results, which will be positive. The resource update we've discussed, we would like to have that come out over the next next month to quarter to be coming out. In terms of the feasibility study, we're doing our best there to get it out as soon as possible. We need to make sure it's accurate. We have additional MET results to do, some geotech review, and the CapEx that we're reviewing on that. So we're almost there. But some of this is dependent on external consultants and lab results. So I'm cautious on putting definitive dates on it. Project financing, we're looking to advance. So we've got 3 people in the data, and we hope to have more people looking at the project. Acknowledging that debt finance is a 4 to 6 month process, but we would like to be in a position, certainly this year, where we say we've got the debt finance in place. We had a meeting yesterday with a BICE, Bank for Central American Economic Integration. It's like a World Bank for that part of the world, the Regional Development Bank, and they're interested in providing debt to the project. So it's a question of further de-risk, and getting it construction ready.
Well, you must come back and keep us updated. Thanks for joining us today, Mark. That was Mark Child of Condor Gold, as I said, listed in London on the AIM market and in Canada on the TSX market. And that's it from Blythe News for this edition. Thank you for watching.